Hi,
Hello,
I'm Julian.
and I am Tom.
We are Team Binge, and we are here to talk about Silo Season 3. This one is Episode 4. This one was called Whatever You Do, Don't Go Home, which may apply to multiple parts of this episode. Juliet ends up at her little tent home at the bottom of the silo. Daniel and Helen aren't allowed to go to their homes. They've got to go to some artsy ex's place, which looked like a lovely red brick. I've never lived in a place that has exposed red brick, but Tom, I think I'd do a very good job at it. I have lived in a place where I have black and white photographs of myself, like lounging on things with a book I haven't read. I'll say that. How do you feel about exposed red brick apartments, Tom? Do you love them or really, really like them?
No, I'm for them. It's a great look, and I wish there was more of those in Arizona.
I guess my question should possibly be, Tom, have you ever thought about where your safe house would be if you had to escape the law? If, let's say, right now, I had swatted you or reported you for some minor infraction that you're going to get arrested for, where would you go and hide? And I'm not asking that so that I can then give the police that location as well. But have you thought about where you'd go hide?
Oh, I know exactly where I'm gonna hide, but yeah, I'm not telling you on this pod.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Smart. I'm going to the same place you're going, buddy. All right. I enjoyed this episode. I have come to the conclusion that I was very snarky in the beginning when I told you I don't care about the before times. I gotta be honest, the before times may be what I care the most about now in this show.
We turned you around. Wow.
And simply because the actor and actress that play Daniel and Helen do such a fabulous job. And if someone has not watched this show and decided to put them in some sort of rom-com, then we are failing as a society, because I really very much enjoy Daniel and Helen. And I had to look it up, but Helen is played by Jessica Henwick, who I recently saw her in How to Make a Killing with Glenn Powell, and I thought she did a great job. And then the gentleman that plays Daniel is Ashley Zuckerman, and I don't know him from anything. But I gotta be honest, I enjoy those two sleuths running around. And so that's where my heart lies, Tom. How did you feel about this episode?
Well, I'd love to hear that you are enjoying the before time stuff, because I think my wife is still struggling to kind of like get into that storyline, and I can definitely understand that, because I can see like parts of it drag, or they're just kind of keep asking the same questions and maybe their story doesn't move a lot. But I like that they finally kind of saw this dude with the white hair, finally had a little kind of soiree with him and got to see kind of what is happening.
Soiree.
Sure, why not? Yeah, and then like the stuff going on in the silo, like I'm still having a really good time with this show, and I do think that maybe the before time stuff can be a little bit slow and laggy, and I think we kind of saw this a little bit with season 2, where it is a bit of a slow burn, but like just knowing as a book reader where they're going, I just love all these little things and the Easter eggs that they're dropping, and I think we're in for a wild finish here.
Sure. No, I enjoy the like DC mystery of all. I've always enjoyed movies like that where there's a conspiracy and they're trying to find it out. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on in that I'm probably not catching. And there's probably going to be a big reveal, which is fine. But I just enjoy those two running around. And Tom, if your wife doesn't understand, I got to be honest, leave her. I think that would be the only advice I could. If she doesn't understand that storyline in the show, I think the good book says there's one road towards divorce, and it's because you don't agree on which part of a show is compelling. It says that, I believe, in the Old Testament. So you're welcome for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into it. And listen, we are all over the place in the silo. We're like cutting back and forth. So let's just hit B plots first and then move on to the Juliet of it all. Mm-hmm. And I do want to say that I feel like, and this is because of the book and the show painting itself into a corner a little bit of, I don't find people running and hiding in closets all that compelling for a whole episode of TV. So I was kind of like, hey, if you rewrote this and like made the mode of transportation, I don't know, stolen cars like the Fast and Furious or zip lines, like would I find this more exciting, but truthfully, we spend a lot of this episode with people running up and down stairs, hiding in closets, and whispering. And I was like, all right, not really my jam, but I still enjoyed it. But they threw us two bones. They threw us the Sheriff Billings storyline, where we found out last episode that Orla Kent was dead. We get the autopsy, the coroner report, and Tom, my whole goal in life is to play a coroner in a TV show where I just have to take off rubber gloves and be like, listen, all your assumptions are wrong. They died like this. And like, just be that go-to person. I enjoyed this guy. He's like, I've looked at billions of lungs, and this person's never been in a mine in their life. And Billings isn't like, why are you looking at billions of lungs? There's only 10,000 people in this silo. And he's just like, well, times 2, that's 1 billion. So I don't know. We got a murder mystery, which I'm fine with. I don't know how long they're going to draw this one out. I don't know if they did this. Is this a bookism? Is the murder mystery that Billings is solving a book plot line?
Again, I'm sure people that have read the books more recently are going to yell at me for this, but I don't really know or believe that like Billings was as big a character in the books, and I don't think there's quite as much like murder mystery kind of stuff going on in the silo. Again, I could be wrong, but I like this because I like Paul Billings. I like the actor playing him and giving him some investigation to do. I think is fun and great. My only question is like, where is this going to lead? Because if it is just this dude from the mines and like whatever bad blood that they had, and we'll get to it about like stealing his daughter's job or something, like if that's really going to be what it is, like there's just got to be more to it. It has to tie into the major plot lines of our story, is my guess.
Yeah, I don't know. This does feel like it's a little bit tacked on, which I'll take a 30-minute episode where Billings is just solving a murder. Like you and I, this podcast, pro-murder. We always have been, always will be. And if he's got to be the one that solves it, great. We find out that her head was bashed in by rebar, which is like the third, on my list is third of things I'd like to be bashed in the head with when I die.
Okay. 1 and 2?
1 and 2. Obviously, bowling pin is number 1, without a doubt. And 2 is a leather-bound Bible. Those are my top 3. So
wow, what a way to
bowling
go.
pin from There Will Be Blood, and then we have a leather-bound Bible, but like a thick old Bible, you know?
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
gotta be.
And then third is rebar. So
Okay.
I'll give you some time to think about it before I ask you the same question, Tom, because I doubt it's something you've dwelt on very long.
I can't say I have. I don't think I want to go out by bludgeoning. It doesn't sound ideal.
No, it's not ideal, but I mean, out of my top 10 ways to go, it's third actually. So rebar is 3 of 3 if I'm breaking it down, but we'll go through that list another time. So we've got a murder on our hands. Billings then goes to supply, and you brought up before a dog. What's going on here? Is this the only dog in the silo?
Yeah, we got dogs. I don't know if that. I mean, we got a rabbit. I think in the first season, right? Wasn't it like Juliet's like pet as a kid, and they said they couldn't have animals, but this dude's just walking his dog like it's no big deal. I love it. I love seeing a puppy.
Okay, all right. For the sake of the silo and the food consumption, I didn't care for it, Tom, if I'm being honest.
Food's fine. Listen, worst comes to worst, you eat the dog. I'm sorry, but you got to eat the dog.
Oh, wow. You swung from I'm so glad that there's a dog in this show to let's eat the dog within the span of 5 seconds. That was incredible. Flip-flopping Tom over here. Man, don't make him the interim mayor.
Yeah, it's nature's MRE.
Nice. Nice. That's terrible. So terrible. All right.
I'm a dog person. I love my dog.
Yeah,
so it was nice to see a dog in this.
Yes.
And this guy here, Mike Davidson, the former boyfriend or something of Orla, he seems innocent, right? Because he's a dog person.
This guy, he's a dog person. Also, he knows exactly where he was at the time of the murder, which only the murderer ever knows. So I'm a little bit concerned. Although they throw light on him, and they also throw light on Ed Harwood, which, if it's Ed Harwood, I don't know. Was this like the most obvious murder softball that they made the guy, they told that actor, they were like, hey, you're Ed Harlow, act like a murderer and a minor. And the guy was like, got it. And he nailed it. So I think it's a little bit weird. We're casting suspicion on Mike Davidson. who is the ex-boyfriend of Glenda, who we meet later on in the episode, who is the former Shadow. I don't know. Is this a killing over a job and an ex-boyfriend? Who knows? But Billings at least has something to do, I guess, right?
Yeah. And like there is an interesting thing with Glenda saying that like McLean is nowhere to be found. Like I thought she just maybe retired or whatever, but is she like on the run? Like I thought we might run into her at some point, but it seems like she is maybe in hiding too, but just people care less about trying to find her.
I don't know. I don't know. In a silo this population controlled, someone missing for several months seems suspicious, but also that actor may just not be available for the show right now. I don't know. Yeah. But we end Billings' storyline with he is very suspicious of Ed Harwood and the daughter here, as well as Mike Davidson. So we'll see how that all plays out. To your point, I like Sheriff Billings. I just wish was saddled with main plotline, not weird side quest plotline.
Yeah, agreed.
The other B plot we're thrown into is Lucas Kyle, who ends up with Patrick Kennedy, and Patrick Kennedy, being part of the Outsiders, is like, listen, bro, we know it's good outside. And Lucas is like, no, bro, it's not good outside. The helmet video is a lie. And I like how Kennedy's compatriots are pretty much like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's believe him. And Kennedy's like, no, he's on drugs. I don't know. I was like, okay, cool. We got a bunch of conversations with these two, ultimately for it just to be like, hey, we need to head downstairs and meet up with Juliet. And I just want to point out that if you ever want to defeat a raider in the silo, Tom, just lock a door. These raiders, every time they try a handle, they're like, it's locked, they move on. They're like stormtroopers in Star Wars. This one's locked, let's move on to the next one. A locked door is an incredible thing in this silo.
It really is. It's a great deterrent. And like I was confused about Kennedy because like he starts questioning Lucas initially and it's like, hey, what's going on? You know more than, people are saying and everybody's looking for you. And then there's like scenes. So he asks him the initial questions and then I guess doesn't believe them. And maybe he like deep down he does, but he's trying to kind of say he doesn't because he's believed in this version of the lie for a while.
Sure.
But then like later, like one of the other outsider dudes like comes into the room and they're all just like sitting there quietly, not doing anything. Like, why is Kennedy not asking 1,000 different questions? Does he not really know the extent of what Lucas knows? Like, because Lucas knows, as we as an audience know, like everything. Like he's had a tablet. He's been in this relic room. Like he knows everything that's going on. Yet Kennedy is refusing to ask questions.
Well. Yeah, and maybe that's just because, like, if Lucas tells people, then algorithm knows and algorithm kills everyone, right? That's why Lucas, like, whispered to Bernard and he doesn't want other people to know what's going on. If he just starts spreading this, then everyone dies, correct?
Well, I think it's just the extent, because like you said, if you mention anything about the safeguard or whatever, like on the bottom, then like that is like the trigger to immediately like take out the silo. But like he's saying that the screen is a lie and the helmet video is is not true. So I would assume the algorithm would want that information out there as well. Like I don't know. I don't know what the extent of when the algorithm pulls the trigger.
I feel like this silo may be past cleanings. Like, I don't think they're, like, back in the cleaning mood anymore.
Right.
I think
That's
all
fair.
of that is kind of thrown out, as well as the other parts of the pact that maybe Billings is enjoying this murder mystery because he doesn't have to rewrite the pact, That seemed like tedious work.
Procrastinating, yeah.
But we end the Patrick Kennedy and Lucas Kyle of it all with Patrick Kennedy agreeing to take Lucas down to see Juliet and the bottom. And I did love the little bit of comedy where he's like, he's not going to like the way we get down there. And Kennedy's like, oh, no, you're going to love it. And it's like, what, are we jumping down the garbage chute again? How are we getting down there? Water slides? What's up? Zip lines?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, are we going to get some sort of fun little montage of them going down? Like, maybe they are going to install the slides. Like, one can only hope.
One can only hope. If I had to watch an episode of people water sliding and then hiding in closets, I think I would be more in on the chase scenes of this show. All right, let's go to the main one. And the main one is we have left last episode with Camille telling the algorithm she's going to kill Juliet because Juliet is a problem. She can die a hero, and they can get a new mayor and then move on, and they don't have to give the, hey, everyone forget everything drug. And so Camille is like messaging the nurse like, hey, not seduce, I'm sorry. Help me out there, Tom. I don't know, seduce may have been more interesting, but he is trying to sedate. Thank you, brain.
There it
we
is.
got there. Juliet, and I think the Raider guard outside is called Emerson. Is that her name? Do I have that name
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah, because she gets like knocked out, and then she's like, "Oh, Emerson is still alive," which thank goodness.
Right. Yeah, great. I'm glad Emerson's still with us. One of my favorite characters in the show. But all of this, we get this. Honestly, Emerson lifts the nurse lady by the neck up off the ground. I thought maybe for a second she was, I don't know, one of those Marvel super people. What are they called? They have the super abilities, Tom, that they're really strong.
Hero people.
Yeah, exactly. And all of this leads to, well, did you find it a surprise that the new nurse was good? Because we have seen the nurse doing some bidding for Camille, that the show made it seem like she was like tracking Juliet's drugs and feeding her the forget-me stuff. But in the end, with the needle to Emerson's neck, she turned out to be a good person, apparently.
Yeah, I liked it because I didn't see it coming. Like when she does take the needle to the other lady as opposed to Juliet. But I almost feel like, I don't know, I guess it's interesting that there seems to be so many people in this silo that are playing multiple games here, right? Like where we had the kind of bodyguard to Juliet, essentially like looking the other way and allowing her to kind of go and do her own thing.
He's not even in the show anymore. That guy's gone.
And then, you have obviously these people kind of, or this nurse kind of helping out and being potentially an outsider. You have Billy's wife. So it's like you do have a lot of these people that are kind of like turning, which I think is not necessarily unfounded with the rebellion, and people are kind of like want things to go back to normal, but like to what end and to what cost. So it was interesting to see just yet another character kind of make the turn, but I thought it was fun. Yeah,
there are a lot of people helping Juliet at very convenient times. And honestly, I mean, I guess it's purposeful because after the fight is over, she's like, Juliet, we've got to get out of here. But I was like, oh, maybe she's just a really bad nurse and she didn't know who to stick with the needle. And she just accidentally stuck Emerson with the needle. But these two escape. Intercut with this is, Tom, I don't care about Knox and Shirley. I don't care. We've got this like weird conversation where they're like, oh, the last time I talked to her, I said some terrible things, and now she's in the hospital. We got to go help her. And later on, Shirley like is conveniently there to listen to Camille and Sims talk, and she's like, Knox, I think they want to kill Juliet. I don't care. I don't care about these two. Actually, the only thing I did care about is when Knox went all Batman on all those raiders and was just trying to fist fight 30 people. That was great. Unnecessary, and he lost, but pretty great to watch.
Yes, I agree. And I'm kind of with you. Like, again, they have this throwaway line where Shirley's like, just now in episode 4, she's like, oh, I've been a terrible friend. I need to do better. It's like, maybe you could have had some self-reflection earlier as opposed to now. And yeah, to your point, this scene kind of coming up where Shirley and Knox try to see Juliet while she's in the hospital. Like, they don't know that she's kind of made her escape. Like, Knox, like, trying to be civil with the guys. They essentially say they hate Mechanical. He takes them all out. And there's conservatively 30 raiders here. And they all take down to him. And probably a good 20 of them are doing nothing outside of just getting closer to the pile and watching everybody while Shirley kind of sneaks in the background. Like, I kind of giggled. I thought that was a little bit too aggressive of the show to have that many guards stepping aside so she can walk in.
I love in this show anytime someone introduces themselves, especially if you're the head of Mechanical. He's like, hey, I'm Knox. I'm like, there's only 10,000 people in the silo. I know that seems like a lot, but it's so contained. I mean, you probably meet, I don't know. Is that unreasonable to think everyone would know the head of Mechanical at a certain point? Or are there just too many too much class diversity, Tom, that they don't talk to the down deepers?
the people from Mechanical probably don't come up as much, but like Knox is a figure in this new like council thing. So you would assume at least these raiders would have an understanding of who is on the council and would recognize this person. But like we've established, there's no like photography, so there's not like all these pictures of all the council members on the wall on the 38th floor. So maybe he just doesn't know what they look like.
I mean, our high school was, I don't know, our high school was a quarter of the amount of people in a silo. It was huge, and we were friends with everyone. The lunch lady, the librarian. I mean, so I don't know. I think it's weird that you don't know people in the silo, especially like the important people. Once again,
agree.
like the lunch lady and the librarian. All of that fighting, once again, you mentioned it. Shirley sneaks in. She hides in a closet. It's a locked door. The raiders can't get through the locked door. She hears Sims and Camille. She then tells Knox, hey, they're going to try and kill Juliet. I'm going to go help. And I was like, got it. Okay, cool. And Tom, Camille and Sims, they're not cut out for this work. These guys are really bad at like the murder and the Juliet has spent so much time running away from the bad guys in the show that I think they're really bad at their jobs as being the evil people. And maybe their heart's not in it. Like I don't feel like Camille's heart is in it. I feel like Sims's heart might be in it a little bit stronger.
See, I don't know. I've got some questions about Sims here in a second, but I'll hold on to it. But yeah, like them having these conversations like out in the open for anybody to kind of come and listen, and like the very convenientness of Shirley kind of hearing all this, and it's like, oh, this has to end tonight, and then her then running to Knox and passing on that information. Like again, it seemed very, very lovely timed and convenient for the show, but it's fine.
I do believe her words to Knox are, I think they want Juliet dead. I would be like, hey, let's get to a point where we're not thinking it, we know it for sure, and then we act on it, you know? Like, let's not assume.
Because that's the head of IT and head of judicial, or like the judge, right? So
yes.
We're throwing out the accusations without some proof.
Exactly. We do have a nice conversation with this nurse and Juliet where the nurse points out, she's like, hey, I was actually helping you with the forget-me-not drugs. I was trying to have you get your memory back. Even, once I realized you were not taking your medication, I still tried to help you. And then she ultimately helps Juliet. A lot of, hey, I'm going to go make a commotion or start a fight so someone can run away in this, which the nurse, I feel like, got farther beating up the raiders than Knox did, which was great. I mean, she's just stabbing people with morphine needles left and right, you know?
Yeah, like she also says something about, like, yes, she was giving her less drugs and trying to help her even before Juliet was trying to help herself. But she almost makes mention like somebody else asked her to do this, like to help her before this nurse made the decision. So are we to assume this is like a Patrick Kennedy thing and she's like an outsider, or is there some other influence? Like, is it Walker? Is it McLean? Like somebody else telling the nurse to help out Juliet?
To your point, Dom, I have no idea. I mean, at any point, a character can turn to Juliet and be like, I've been on your side the whole time. I mean, Bernard at the end here could, I don't know.
Right?
It's a lot of people turning towards good, I wonder if they all could just get together in a council and everyone be like, hey, is your heart in being evil? No? All right, let's figure out this silo thing.
You go on this side of the room. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I thought this was a little bit kind of silly too, like them doing the exact same distraction kind of scene. Like, I mean, we putted on The Last of Us. In that game, you can just take a bottle and just throw it in a corner, and then all the guys will just run to that area. So I feel like they should have just thrown a bottle or something instead of another person distraction. Right.
The old bottle trick, or you just tell people, hey, she's my prisoner. I'm taking her to such and such level. And then the raiders are all like, all right, it looks like the nurse has got it covered. She caught her. Let's go back to, I don't know, picking oranges or peaches or apples or whatever it is they do. The nurse sends Juliet to pump room 76, and when she shows up and Sims pops out for half a heartbeat, only for Juliet to then immediately leave. Like, if I was Common, I'd be like, "Do you really need me for this scene?" He's like, he's like, "Now, hey, we need to," and then Juliet leaves the room. It was so quick. I hope Common got paid a lot for that scene.
Some of his best acting in the show, I would argue. But the way he was like hiding behind that pump that very clearly says like 76, and then like slowly enters scene and frame, it was so funny. I loved it. But like, so I got a question here. Like, we know the nurse is kind of, I guess, on Juliet's side with her actions here. Sends her to pump 76. Like, how does Sims know to go to 76?
I don't know.
I'm going to throw something out there to say, is Sims potentially a good guy? Like, is he now maybe sort of playing his wife and he's like on Juliet's side? I feel like it'd be kind of interesting because that's what Camille did to him in the second season, if maybe he's kind of doing that again. Because I don't understand how he would have known specifically to go to this room and why the character that just did a good thing for Juliet would send him right to Sims.
I mean, Sims has control of all the cameras, right? So you could argue maybe he's just watching cameras and he knows where she goes to, although he seems to be waiting for her. So I guess you could throw that hypothesis out. Listen, if Common all of a sudden was good and was on Juliet's side, I'd love it. Give me more good Common, you know? The uncommon good, I would be all for it. But I don't know. There's so many...
Well, because he says something, too. It's like, hey, don't run. I just want to talk to you kind of a thing. Like, it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to
tell someone before you murder them in a pump room, Tom. That's like... I mean, we've all done
murder
it.
101.
Yeah, you're trying to get someone not to... Because you don't want to be tired when you finally catch up to them and beat them to death with rebar. You know, you want them a little bit on their back foot, but still in the room. So, I don't know. Listen, I'd love it. Once again, I don't know, to your point, I don't know who the nurse is working for. I don't know what Sims is up to. I mean, Sims wanting to kind of push against the algorithm and it's let's brainwash and have everyone forget everything. I would argue that might be driving him to maybe not like do what Camille is doing, which is fine. But I don't know. I think we'll find out. Conveniently, Juliet runs into Shirley, and they have a discussion. I loved the like them hiding, and we get a 3-sentence conversation where they like made up. Where Juliet's like, I get this feeling like, if anything happened to you, I'd murder someone. And you're like, okay.
Rebar somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely beat someone with a bowling pin or rebar for your sake. And I like perked up. I was like, okay, hey, that sounds like a good time.
I hear you. Strike.
Exactly. It'd probably take 2, though, so maybe a spare.
Okay, double bagger.
Yep. Okay, so Juliet and Shirley... They're now getting along. I do want to point out throughout this episode, Juliet seems to be remembering more and more. And this all leads to these two heading down to the Gap. And I really constantly worry about everyone that helps Juliet being unemployed the next day. Like the guy that's running this crane, her sheriff guard... He seems to be no longer around. The nurse, we know she's not going to be practicing medicine anymore. Like, everyone that helps Juliet, and Juliet doesn't seem to care. She's like, hey, pretend like you're bad at your job when the raiders want to use these cranes to get across the Gap. And the guy's like, sure, I guess I'll pretend to be incompetent. That's something I like to do. But we don't get to see any rope climbing in this one, Tom. Were you disappointed?
No. Yeah, it was implied rope descending, which was a bummer. But, I mean, they said they were going to go together, I guess, and this guy was just going to hold them down. So it would have been fun to watch them both go down together.
I really thought maybe we'd lose Shirley in this moment. Like, it was going to come between, do we, like, lower Juliet or lower Shirley, and the Raiders show up. But that did not happen. These two are headed down to the Digger Void because of Juliet's conversation with Lucas. And then while they're going down there, Shirley reminds Juliet of George. She's got like a quick flashback, and we get to a very poorly sealed off Digger Void. That now, was it always like this? Would she have known about this rope, or was this an addition that like Walker made? Because doesn't Knox tell everyone that Walker sealed it off?
Yeah, so I believe, like when Julia first goes to the door, she tries to remove like this sign that says like no entrance or something like that, because like you pull that sign off and then you can just walk through. But it seemed like now they have tried to weld all this whole thing together, so it looks like it's all together. But like the idea that this other side of this welding, which has a very large gap, would have like lights on in this hallway. Like, 'cause it doesn't seem like Bernard's like walking up and down and going a bunch of places. For there to be lights on the other side seemed rather convenient and kind of tropish. But she finds the secret lever and gets inside.
Listen, I think this silo operates on the assumption that people don't want to walk up and down stairs any more than they have to. So if Knox from Mechanical, who may or may not have led a rebellion, is like, hey guys, we took care of it. It's all sealed off. All good. You don't have to check. Everyone's like, cool. No one wants to walk down there anyways, so we believe you. Juliet obviously walks in there. We get to just a lovely little relationship palace of her and George, a shrine to their love, still very much like set up and hasn't been destroyed, but is occupied, Tom. Is occupied by one Tim Robbins, and we find out that Bernard is alive. And did you know this was coming? Have you just been hiding this the whole time?
I have not been hiding this, but this does make me think again more to the Sims of it all. Like, Sims was the one that said he took him down to the incinerator and immediately incinerated him, right?
He had the porters take him down in 6 hours rather than just tossing him, which would have taken 10 seconds. We did get a flashback of him putting like plastic over Bernard's face. I do want to point that out.
Yeah, but I mean that's all him like saying this story. So this is like the story that is being delivered to whoever he was talking to, I think, in these scenes. So my assumption is that he is the one that hid Bernard. Like said he was going to burn him and incinerate him, but then he is ultimately the one that hit him, and maybe he's a good guy. That's where my head is based off of this episode, because otherwise why else would Timmy Robbs be alive?
I don't know. I love the idea in the silo that anytime someone rises to power, they discover like what it's about and they don't want to be in power anymore. Like Sims is like worked his way up, and now that he's in power, he's like, the algorithm sucks and I'd like to do other things. Bernard discovered everything and he's like, I'd like to go outside in a suit that works. I love that everyone gets to the highest point, realizes it's terrible and that the algorithm's going to kill him. And so they find themselves in a love palace at the very bottom with a little bit. I thought he looked pretty good. I think a little bit sunburnt, but still handsome, Bernard.
Yes, and this was a fun little surprise. I'm glad that we have Bernard back and Tim Robbins. Like, I don't know what sort of redeeming arc that he could do here. Like, I figured they would have just killed the character. And for what it's worth, too, again, I know I've said on pod I have read the books, but I don't remember any of the Bernard Sims detailed storylines. So me conjecturing that Sims might be helping Bernard is not a bookism per se. It's just something I'm thinking about based off what the show is providing me.
If you don't remember any of it, Tom, what good are you? Like, what are you bringing to the table here if you can't reveal
I've been taking my vitamins, bruh.
Some juicy secrets every once in a while? This is why we were talking about earlier, you've been drinking the water, and I think the government has been putting memory loss drugs in the water in real life, because I remember everything, and I slam 6 Diet Mountain Dews a day and don't drink any water. So that'll
Smart.
tell you something, kids. Write that one down. Uncle Julian says drink Diet Mountain Dew and not water. And your memory be real good, All right.
Your memory be real good. You not be smart, but memory be good.
All right. Listen, as a TV show guy, Tom, I'm typically not surprised by things. I will say that with Silo, I have turned my brain, I have dimmed it a little bit, and the Diet Mountain Dew may have done it, where like I did not see this coming, but when it happened, I wasn't like blown away. I was just like, oh great, we've got Tim Robbins back. It's cool. Like I'm happy. We'll see where they go with it. The show played it as like I don't know, like a Lost reveal that was going to be critical, but. I appreciate him trying. I appreciate him hiding the card, letting us memorize it, and then showing it to us again. It was a fun little magic trick, but...
Yeah, and again, this incinerator room had 2 bodies in there and couldn't take either of them out. So, I mean, what good is that room doing?
I don't know. Let's head to the before times, what I like to call the fun times. So, we've got Daniel and Helen still running around, and they ended the last episode where they went and saw Internet Steve or Dark Web Steve, and then his place was ransacked when they went back for the recordings. This one, they come out. Tom, how much joy would you get out of pulling someone's cell phone out of their hand and destroying it in front of them and just being like, we can't have phones, we gotta destroy all record, and then just being like, man, that, like, I am not up for renewal with Verizon, bro. Like, that's $1,000 phone. I had so many pictures on there, and I do not upload them to the cloud. Like, what are you doing? She's like, they made someone disappear. We're dealing with something nefarious. And she destroys his phone so quickly. And I was just like, what a jerk move. What about
her phone? Did she destroy her own phone?
Yes, at the end, she throws it over a wall. And I was like, she's definitely going to go get that later. She just wanted to destroy his because Helen deep down likes to needle Daniel a little bit. Just a little bit. But yes, I love the phone destroying.
But yeah, I think we leave this scene with Helen saying like she knows a guy or knows a place, and that's where we, I guess, get to this safe house, right?
Right. She's like, don't go home. And he's like, well, I don't even know how to get anywhere because GPS was on my phone and GPS is gone. So I literally, I use GPS to get to my house, and it's not difficult to get to my house. I use it every day. So I don't know how anyone's getting anywhere without phones. But... we end up in a very nice safe house, Tom. Very cozy, exposed red brick. I think I mentioned it before. Just a lovely place.
Yeah, and I like how Daniel clocks that this is not her place. And his line about you drive a 30-year-old Saab non-ironically was pretty great.
Right. Yep, that was great. And we find out it's her ex's place. His name being Palmer. Tom, let's talk about some stuff that's on the walls in this place. There is a picture of Helen, very tastefully done. She is reading a book, staring directly in the camera. Her eyes follow you all over the place. There is a giant poster that says something like, there's a new sheriff or there's a sheriff. And I can't help but think this show has a police force where there is a sheriff that's in charge. What is this Easter egg that they are throwing on the wall in this house that leads to the silo having a sheriff? Tom, please reveal all.
That's very interesting. I thought it was just a Marlboro man. I didn't clock that it was the sheriff. But if that is an Easter egg, that's great. Okay,
I hate you right now. I hate you. I thought I'd seen something profound, and you no-sold me. So... no cigarettes for you. If it was
actually Paul Billings in there in that picture, that would have been pretty great. But no,
it was not. It was not. Helen at one point goes and gets back into her office, and she's trying to find Internet Steve, Dark Web Steve. What are we going to call him? Dark Web Steve, I think is what we called him. Although I guess his name is Stephen Price. And we find out that Stephen Price's number is now bad, as well as Mr. Alameda, his number is no good. And I thought they were going to bring the reveal that these people maybe didn't exist, but old white-haired dude later just lets us know that they've been essentially paid off or bribed to go about their business, right?
Yeah, I guess this whole conversation is just them realizing like the extent of the people that are doing these things. Like for both the dark web Steve, like and him being disappeared, but then also Mr. Alameda that they were just dealing with recently, also now not having his number or can't be reached. Like it just kind of shows, I guess, how deep this conspiracy goes. And I do want to call out here, like Daniel talks about like being very hungry, and he goes to eat a pickle, which is just gross. Like even if it's expired for 2 days, pickle eating is gross. Don't eat pickles.
I want to point out, he says these are expired 2 years, and he doesn't hesitate.
2 years? I thought it was 2 days.
He dove in. But, Tom, it's the pickling process. So when something that's pickled expires, it just gets more pickled, and therefore better. And I love pickles. I was with Daniel on this. You know what you do with that pickle? You do some thin sandwich slices with it. You throw it on a piece of bread with some peanut butter, Tom, and you have a peanut butter and pickle sandwich.
Ugh,
and it's delicious.
Gross.
And people should try it. All I want our audience corner to be is people trying a peanut butter and pickle sandwich and emailing us at teambingepodcast@gmail.com. And I truly mean this. I have been eating peanut butter and pickle sandwiches since I was a young man. I still eat to them to this day. I think they're incredible. Do I have pregnancy cravings? No. I just love a peanut butter and pickle sandwich. I'm saying this unironically.
Just like the 30-year-old sob, not unironically. Yeah,
unironically. All right. They ultimately discover, hey, like what we need to find is the Moldova recordings, and they do note that Dark Web Stephen Price was playing chess, and they figure out, hey, that might be not a game, but a way of communicating, which the show did a pretty good job of being like, hey, pay attention to him playing digital chess and like note it.
Yeah, so like these characters can kind of clock it. And I like the concept of like there was some like terrorists or something using the World of Warcraft like chat to be able to talk. Is that like from a movie or is that a real thing? I feel like I've heard of that before when she says it.
I don't know. I know that a lot of the communication on World of Warcraft is garbage, so I don't know. I don't know if that's historical, but it's been in other shows where they're using online gaming to hide their planning and how they're going to take down the Green Dragon or something. I don't know. And then everyone in their party gets destroyed because they tried to fight a level 40 Green Dragon on like night 2 of D&D, and all the friends got mad at each other.
Hey, listen, I was the last to go.
I know, because you ran like a coward, Tom.
I did. I really want to get out of there.
Anyways, Tom, if you were a terrorist and you wanted to communicate with people, other than this podcast, how would you communicate with them?
Oh yeah, no, I think Rocket League is how I generally do my communicating with the internet.
Rocket League is such a limited vocabulary, though. It's like you're shouting
what
goal, block, I'm really fast, you stole my boost. Like that's all, you know.
It's all code, man. If you know, you know.
That's good to know. They're trying to find out Steve's, I guess, his username for chess, and these guys are such good sleuths. She's like, I clocked part of it. It was something Bigfoot lives, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, and then he gives her thing like, hey, you're good at this, Nancy Drew. And I think her last name as a character is Drew, so Nancy Drew is great. Great little detective.
Yeah, historic female detective in those novels. Is that a reference people still get? Is Nancy Drew still a thing, you think? Are the Hardy Boys still a thing, Tom?
I feel like my kid is like starting to read some of those kind of books. Like he still wants a lot of like more graphic novel stuff, but I feel like I see Nancy Drew, I see Hardy Boys, I see that stuff still at the library, so I think it's still around.
Tom, they actually do some crossovers with the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, so make sure as he's going into chapter books, he reads the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew solve the mystery of the 1,000,000-person massacre. I think it's like the Bloody Massacre by like the serial killer. So definitely have him start. He's old enough to read that one, Tom. I read it when I was very young, and I'm fine. You know, I have a list of things I'd like to be bludgeoned by and a list of ways I'd like to die. But I read the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, and I'm super good right now.
Very well adjusted. Got it. Okay.
Yep. I was just drinking regular Mountain Dews at the time, reading Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. All right, let's move on. Let's put this car in drive. All right.
Put the minivan in drive.
They wake up. They wake up the next day, and this show is once again. They're like, "Hey, do you want to see these two in a rom-com? Because we're gonna do a rom-com trope." She's gonna wake up and she's be like, "Oh, he left. He skipped out. He's so shallow." And then what does he do? He shows up with donuts. This has happened in like Hitch. This happened in Anyone But You with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney, a great movie. I don't know. I thought this was very funny that they did this. And I was like, I would love to watch this rom-com, Silo. Show me this rom-com.
Yeah, and it's interesting they're doing seemingly kind of romantic kind of storyline with them. Like, I feel like there are some moments where they give each other some longing looks, and
these two they're too charming together. That's just, it's called chemistry, Tom. It's magic.
They do. They got chemistry. They go together like donuts and bear claws.
Donuts and bear claws. A great chemical reaction. These look like the most delicious donuts I've ever seen. I don't think they're donuts that an adult gets. They're like pink with sprinkles. I think of a more refined donut for an adult as just like your plain glazed or like a chocolate frosted one. That we'll save that for Donut Talk with Tom and Julian, our other podcast. But
pretty sure I'm on record. I'm a Maple Bar man. But yeah, these are bodega donuts, baby. It's the real deal.
Maple Bar is like black licorice. You get to a certain age as a dude, and you're just like, I like Maple Bars now. So I think that's fine. You drink your coffee black, and you have your Maple Bar, and you dip it in the black coffee, and that's how it works.
Are you implying that I'm going to eventually start liking black licorice?
Yes, Tom. Yes. Eventually, also, you're going to love mustard as well. And eventually, I hate to tell you this, 2-year-old pickles, my friend. And a peanut butter and pickle sandwich. Oh, we got back to it.
Oh, bring me the bowling pin.
Anyways, bowling pin. At a murderous rate, bring me that bowling pin right to the dome. I love how he buries the lead. We get a bunch of like rom-com donut talk, and then he's like, "Hey, we got an appointment in the hour at the Pentagon." And I was yeah, it's so good, so good. Mm-hmm. So then we read Daniel's friend Sam Pentagon, I believe is his name.
Might as well be. I mean, what they served overseas. I had a band called the Lost Boys with this 80 cover band. I love how they said he played the saxophone, which is just so brilliant extra backstory for a character. Just reminded me like a Bill Clinton.
Tom, saxophone number 4 on the list. Just gonna let you know that saxophone.
It's in the top 5.
4.
Okay.
It's got to be like a pretty hefty one. I don't know if they define saxophones by their heft, but it would have to be a hefty one.
Like a 1930s saxophone.
Yeah, exactly. I love this conversation. Old friends, then we're asking a favor. Old friend is like, listen, you're asking a lot. And we get a little bit of detail, and you and I had our qualms about last episode. We listened to this recording twice, but we as an audience listened to it 0 times. Yeah. But in this one, they explain, hey, the recording we heard were pilots that were not in control of their planes. So, like, something happened where someone else was flying the planes, even though they were present in the cockpit, right? That's how I understood this conversation.
Yeah, but I was confused by that because, like, when we saw this happen in the first episode, it just seemed like some substance or goo or whatever that was in like Charlotte's hands, like, and they kind of flew into this cloud. It seemed to just destroy the planes, right? Like, didn't the other planes just fall to the sky? And then, I mean, I guess we didn't see exactly what happened, but I was weird to say that something took over the planes. That was not what I was picking up from that first episode.
Yeah, she watches one just like go nose up and explode. She seems to have all that goo all over the place that she doesn't seem to be like trying to fly away. We do hear a conversation where a pilot says something like, what's happening? We're 500 kilometers from the target, which is a long way off. Although, you know, historically, we're not always bullseye with what we're shooting at as a country. But that's neither here nor there. So I don't know. It does feel like the show is doing a thing where they're keeping this so ambiguous and like just not giving us enough detail to really it's almost like they don't know which direction to go in, so they're keeping it so vague that they have like different avenues to go down. That's kind of how I feel, which feels a little bit sloppy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and like as a book reader, like I feel like I know generally kind of where they're going, but I'm also interested to see like are they going to go a different route or at least something slightly different than what was in the books. And some of this kind of talk, it does kind of make me question some stuff, but I'm still here for it. Like we know, I would assume by the end of this season that we're going to get some of the answers to this mystery, and I'm sure they'll just, answer a couple things and then keep peeling back the onion, and there'll be just more questions. But I really wish we would have known more about what happened in this 20 seconds.
Sure. We also have you on record as saying you don't remember anything from the books, Tom, so it's really tough to feel for
some
you
stuff
in this moment.
Yeah.
Speaking of people that don't want to remember things, Sam's like, I don't want to have these conversations because I get lie detector tested every 6 months, and this is definitely going to come up on that, so I can't help you. He was unreceptive to helping.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem fun to have a lie detector test all the time, and he doesn't want to be treasonous, so, good for him.
Sure, but sometimes, Tom, treason is necessary. I think that's one of Thomas Jefferson's famous quotes. He said, treason, sometimes necessary, bros. And then he died, I think. I think those were his last words. Him and John Adams, I think, died
Bros.
hours from each other. Yeah. Anyways, speaking of old white guys, this old white guy approaches them, and he's like, I've been following you in a weird way this whole TV show, and this is the time I've decided to approach you. I saw you talking to Sam Pentagon, whose middle name is Government. Sam Government Pentagon, they call him. SGP. And he's like, listen, let's go have some coffee. I was like, or a soiree, as you called it earlier.
There goes soiree. It's his treat. It was very kind.
I do like that. He's like, I'd love it more if he walked up and he's like, listen, let's get a coffee. I forgot my wallet. You're going to have to buy. And just like, honestly, and do we not get a name on this guy at all? Like,
no,
at no point?
Still no name.
So we
just
could call him
old
old white guy. Okay,
yep.
That seems good. Let's call him Thomas Jefferson, Tom. Let's call him Thomas Government Jefferson. All right. So we have a conversation, and this guy's like, listen, you two are like sniffing around in the wrong way. You are endangering something important. And so, Tom, as a book reader, do you know what that something important is? Is this a character in the book?
I don't know if he's a character in the book, but I mean, the idea of like doing all this stuff in the before times, like we have to start getting towards like silo stuff, right? And like trying to figure out why people are in silos, living in silos, why they may mention that Congressman Keene like has some sort of like helped proprietary digging technology or something like that.
Sure,
that was kind of a throwaway line.
Yep.
Yeah. So like I don't know exactly where he's going, but I know there obviously is something important, and I would imagine that's just kind of what leads to the silo of it all. But I like how they're like, you assume he's like getting rid of people, right? Like the kind of the tropish like
with
government, they're going to a black
pins.
site.
Yes,
he's bowling pinning them, knocking them down. But I like how they're kind of convert this where he's taking care of people, but he's doing it kindly. Like
right.
He's giving everybody essentially exactly what they want. He's like a genie granting a wish or two, and does so with Helen here, with giving her this Times job offer.
Listen, I think this is a brilliant, like, this is how human nature works. If you go and kill someone's relative to keep him quiet, then, like, that family is going to be super upset and want answers. But if you promote that family member or give them the job they want, just so they'll be a little bit happier than they are now and will forget about the nefarious things that you're doing, I think that's brilliant. And I think bribery is great, Tom. On the record, murder and bribery, all four here at the Team Binge podcast.
Well, and it's like, and I'm wondering too if it's like bribery with a little mix of their water and forget-me-now drugs. Like maybe they're kind of monitoring these people, like putting them in the position where they're like more receptive in kind and are not going to keep digging and then do their memory wipe kind of stuff.
Sure. That's fair. And so we do find out what the I guess the carrot is, not the stick, the carrot that is offered to our protagonist, which is Helen, despite her less than stellar record as a reporter, is offered a job at the Times, which is her dream job. And she says...
She says no thank you very politely.
Yes, very politely. If you were counting, there were like 17 F words in this episode. I was not, but if you were counting, if you were playing bingo. And then the other is, I guess, a threat to withdrawal care from Charlotte. And I really liked this next scene where the actress that's playing Helen, you can see it like working on her, where she has been this like hard reporter that's searching for the truth, and once she's like gotten to this point where once again they like offer her a prize or offer her dream, that like selfishly goes away. And listen, I'm not in her situation, so maybe calling it selfish, this just seems like a good career move. Obviously this is her dream job. And the truth will figure itself out later. I liked how they did this, and I liked Daniel clocking like, wait a second, you do want the job. You're like, she's like slowly backing out of their deal of finding out the truth. And I just enjoyed how they played it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good too. And like Daniel kind of essentially saying like, hey, this is not going to work. But she kind of going the other direction, and ultimately ends them kind of parting ways here, right? And you assume like they're hanging up their gumshoes. They're no more investigation. But, next scene, we get Daniel does get Sam Pentagon's feedback.
Sam Government Pentagon calls him.
Excuse me.
That's correct.
Full name, sorry.
And I do appreciate like Daniel being the Boy Scout in all of this and being like, I'm going to go public. I'm going to do this. And Helen's just like, it's no use. Like, they've got us. I'm going to go take the cool job. You go get reelected and make sure your sister gets her care. As you mentioned, Sam calls him from a burner phone. Tom, how many burner phones do you own?
Oh, not enough. But Sam does say he goes down a rabbit hole. And then I think even when Daniel goes to Helen's apartment, I like the word choice he says. Like, I did some digging, which, silo digging. I like that.
Sure. Although, once again, we don't know how the silos are formed. The silos may be like mold injected into the ground and all the dirt just like gets pushed away. So
yeah, possibly.
I'm not sure if that's how dirt works, but I don't know that they actually had to do any digging, although I guess they showed us a big digging machine at one point. So
a drill,
Jimmy,
yeah.
can you cut all that? Just, I don't know. Add Tom laughing, please. Okay. He shows up at the door. He's like, listen, I wanted to take the photo of you on the wall with me, and also I can't do this alone. Let's hop into my sweet minivan and go solve a mystery.
Yeah, you can't do it alone because the minivan is just too big. So I think they're going to head to soccer practice.
Right. You're obligated to have more than one person in a minivan if you're driving around. And
correct.
I think this one had the sliding doors on both sides where you could open and jump through on like a skateboard if you really wanted to. We don't know where they're going, right? We just know that he's discovered something because of Sam.
Correct. I don't know what their lead is, what their angle, but great to see the band back together they weren't disconnected for very long, but they're back together.
Right. Yeah. The show tends to do this. They're like, we're not. Oh, and we're back together. And Bernard's alive. Yeah. No, I really do enjoy watching Helen and Daniel figure this out. And I appreciate that now that we've met old white guy, that we, will probably learn a little bit more about what he's doing. And to your point, I think we need to start like uncovering that mystery a little bit more and like having the points of light come back to the silo's origin. So I'm ready for it. But I did enjoy this episode. For those of you that are listening, there are probably some things that we missed. You can reach us at teambingepodcast@gmail.com. And if you would be so kind, on Apple or Spotify, whatever you're listening on, hit the follow button as well as a 5-star or rate and review. As we've mentioned before, if you do a review on Apple Podcasts, we will read it on the pod because we appreciate you so much. Tom, what are the socials that I missed?
Yes, and follow us on our socials at Team Binge or at Team Binge Podcast for all the major ones. Our podcasts are also on YouTube, and it's a good way to find some of our old back catalog too, because you can search YouTube by our podcast. So if you liked Dark Matter or Widow's Bay or Ted Lasso, you can kind of find our stuff there too. And if you could be so kind and subscribe on YouTube, we'd appreciate that. But like I said, fun time. Please keep that feedback coming. And Julian, as Julian said, if you leave us some emails too, we definitely want to kind of hear what people are thinking of the show thus far.
That's true. And I do want to point out just some future programming, because we are going to get into multiple Apple shows that are coming out. For those of you that have not watched Ted Lasso and are looking for something else to watch, go back, and because they're coming out with a season 4, which we'll be covering, as well as Dark Matter is coming out with another season, which we will also be covering. So we have a back catalog there. We appreciate you. For Team Binge, I have been Julian.
And I have been Tom. Till next week, everybody.